welcome back to my channel called Zuzanareacts, where I learn all things Bharat with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. And today's video is about the biggest democracy in the world, Bharat, and the cost, what it takes to actually run elections. So I know that you are undergoing elections, and I know that there are parts where you can or cannot talk about. So this video is going to be talking more about, how much does it cost to run elections like that in the country size of Bharat. So before we jump into today's video,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
Let's get into it.
Have you heard about Pilopatia? It's a place located in India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Every election year, a polling station is set up here, and it's quite a task. The journey begins from Port Blair. Election officials first take a ship, then a speedboat, then another small dinghy, and finally, they take a hodi, a traditional boat used by the local tribe. This entire journey lasts almost 24 hours, and it's not just long, it's also pretty dangerous. The last leg is through mangrove swamps.
Wow.
It's infested with crocodiles.
Whoa.
But the officials still make this journey. They carry voting machines with them. They're kept in waterproof boxes. Once the team reaches Pilopatia, they set up a polling booth for 9 voters. That's right. They go through all of this just to reach 9 voters.
Man.
And this is the story of India's elections. It shows you the scale of the world's largest democratic exercise. India is going to polls next month, 28 states, 8 union territories, 968 million voters.
Wow.
It's a mammoth exercise, unmatched in scale and scope. So how big are India's elections? How will the world's largest democracy vote? How much will this election cost India? I'm Palki Sharma, and this is Between the Lines. 2024 is a mega election year for the world. Nearly half the world's population will vote. That's 4 billion people. And almost 1 billion of them are here in India. This is the world's largest democracy, which makes this election the largest in the world. Voting will begin on April 19th. It will go on till June 1st. It will happen in a staggered manner. There will be a total of 7 phases of voting.
Wow.
It will happen over 44 days. And this makes it the longest general election in India's history.
Wow.
In some states, voting will be done in one day. Others will vote in multiple phases. Bigger states.
Okay. Can I just ask, what was that? Them painting on the finger. What was that? What does that mean? Please let me know. That was fascinating. Okay, let's continue.
It's like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal are voting in all 7 phases.
Wow, man.
And the result of all of this will be announced on June 4th. Which brings us to the voters. 968 million people are eligible to vote in India. It's more than the combined population of Europe. It's also 150 million more than 2019. That's when India's last general election was held. 497 million are men, 471 million are women, 197 million young voters, 18 million first-time voters, 8.2 million over the age of 85, and 0.2 million centenarians. Then there are the non-resident Indians, or NRIs. They may live outside India, but they can also cast their vote. Together, these voters will elect 543 politicians to the Lok Sabha. That's the lower house of India's parliament, the Lok Sabha. 543 members of parliament, or MPs.
Wow.
And the contenders belong to different parties. 6 of them are national parties, 52 are state parties, and 2,301 are unrecognized.
What's an unrecognized party? What does that mean? I mean, this is all mind-blowing, but what does that mean? How can you have an unrecognized party? I'm sure it means something that I don't understand, so please do let me know in the comments.
There is the ruling BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have been in power since 2014. In the opposition, there are several contenders. The biggest is the Indian National Congress. Then there are regional stakeholders, like the Trinamool Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Samajwadi Party, the DMK. Together, they form the India Bloc. It's an alliance of opposition parties. In 2019, 673 political parties participated in the election.
Wow.
36 of them were able to win seats. The BJP-led NDA coalition secured a landslide victory. They won a record 353 seats. The Congress and its allies won 91 seats. This time, the BJP aims to further its gains. They're aiming for 400 seats. The last time a party won more than 400 seats was in 1984. It was the Congress party. That was right after the assassination of Indira Gandhi. Now, if the BJP wins this election, Narendra Modi will become India's Prime Minister for the third straight term. And when he completes this term, the third term, if he gets it, he will become India's third longest serving Prime Minister after Jawaharlal Nehru, who held office for 16 years and 9 months, and Indira Gandhi, who was in power for 15 years and 11 months.
Wow.
Which brings us to the voting. How will it happen? Voters will vote through EVMs, electronic voting machines. They were introduced in 1982. Voters press the button beside the candidate's name and party symbol. There's also the option of nota, none of the above, NOTA. In this election, over 5 million machines will be deployed in more than 1 million polling booths. They will be located across the country, some in very remote locations. We've already told you about the one in Andaman and Nicobar. There are many more like that. There's one booth at 15,256 feet. It's located in the state of Himachal Pradesh, the world's highest polling station. In 2019, a polling station was set up in the Gir Sanctuary, almost 70 kilometers inside the dense forest.
Wow.
So from the mountains of the Himalayas to the deserts of Rajasthan and the coasts of southern India, polling booths are set up everywhere, which means poll officials have a huge task at hand. Around 15 million polling staff will be deployed. This includes security personnel. Election Commission guidelines say every voter should be within 2 kilometers of a polling station. So officials will travel across India to make sure everyone can exercise their democratic right. In 2019, in one case, election voters traveled for 4 days, covering a distance of 482 kilometers to set up a polling station in Arunachal Pradesh. And they did this for just one voter.
Wow.
In Maoist-infested areas, polling officials cannot even take cars. So they hike to set up booths.
Whoa.
It's to give everyone an opportunity to vote. In 2014, the voter turnout was 66%. In 2019, it was around 67.4%, the highest ever in India's history. This year, it's expected to be more.
Wow.
And now the cost. An election this big will have a massive bill. By some estimates, this will be the world's most expensive election. It could cost anywhere between $10 to $15 billion. That's more than the 2020 US election. This includes campaigning by political parties, expenditure towards offices, preparation of electoral rolls, charges for conducting elections, and issuing photo identity cards. So record numbers, record days of voting, and a record spending bill. These numbers reflect the staggering scale of India's election. But it's also the smaller ones that show the true picture, like the setting up of polling booths for just one voter, or trekking for 4 days to give people the right to vote.
Wow.
That's what a democracy is about. Which brings me to you, the voter. Voting is a fundamental right. It's also a duty. Election day is the day to exercise your democratic right. It's not just any other national holiday. So go out and exercise that right. Cast your vote. It's the least you can do.
Wow. So the sheer size of what's happening over there with you guys is just, I'm always like, mind-blowing. I'm, lost for words that people would travel distances just to get, I don't know if that is in your constitution, that obviously you have to secure rights for people, but I'm like so speechless after watching this, how I don't think if you ponder about it, it's like, yeah, largest election, but you perhaps will not know what that actually means. And I was actually quite surprised that you have electric voting machines. That's something. So obviously Slovakia is just so small, right? Like we're only 5 million. So we have a paper ballots, and we vote by paper, and that's pretty much it. But you have electric voting. I wonder how that actually works. I think the Americans do as well. I think that in Slovakia they're trying to do something that you can vote from home, but what was really impressive is the turnout. We just had presidential elections here in Slovakia, and I think that full turnout for presidential election was over 60%. Either it was 61 or 62, but I don't recall, but which was, I think, the highest ever in the existence of the country for a president. But I mean, it's so cool that people go and vote, because I don't really know, but I know that in Slovakia, the kind of turnout is that great. And I think I've just seen a video of Jay Shankar talking about, like, ha ha ha, like I still have the higher turnout than you guys, when he was like criticizing the West. So I found it amusing, and I'm like, yeah, it's hard to get people to turn out, because I don't know if you had noticed, whoever you vote here in the two, especially in the two-party system, it's nothing ever really changes. It's just like it almost doesn't matter who you vote. So many people refrain from doing that. But some very, very impressive statistics. I mean, yeah, if you could let me know what that painting looked like, what that man is like, does that mean that you voted? Or I guess that perhaps what it means. But it's crazy. I'm just still like thinking of these numbers and thinking, this is mad. Like, I mean, just to secure all of this and secure it also in an electronic manner, and thinking about, like, if for some reason technology fails, how do you go about this? If we have like in-house, but again, Slovakia is just so small, right? It's not really comparable to India, but we have, for like disabled people, we have people going directly to where people live. So, but you have to register that you want people to come. So maybe that's what's happening when they go and walk for 4 days just to get to that one person, because here it's like you can register and they can come to your house. And yeah, one interesting thing, like they were talking about the national identity cards, because we do have in Slovakia passport and national identity. What looks like there is a project that no one really fully yet talks about. But I was doing mine a couple of years ago, new one. They were only issuing it, so they're always issuing it for 10 years, and they were only, I think, issuing it for 7 or so. And they're basically saying that there is a new project, and I feel like what's going to happen now, it is you're going to have a merged national ID and a passport together. I feel like that's kind of, it's not like I read it somewhere, but that is what kind of through the conversation transpired, that a project like that is happening. So interesting what Europe has in store for all of us. We don't even know here, but we do definitely have an ID, and you have to bring in your ID, at least in Slovakia. So what you do, you come to, there's like a committee. Usually it happens at schools. I don't know how it is handled in India. In fact, it would be interesting to know how that works. So for us, you just go, you're assigned like usually it happens in schools because they're big. So you go to a school, there is like a committee, you present your ID, they have a list of people, and then you have to sign. And then you're going to get a ballot. You have like booths there, and in booths you're circling things on paper ballot. And I know that you have electric from what I'm seeing, and only then you can vote. So for example, I know that in the US that you can vote without national ID, which is, I feel like the craziest idea ever. But I would be curious to know how it actually works. If you could let me know in the comments below, and that would be super helpful. And I don't think I want to be talking about that subject that much, considering things are happening on your end, and I don't want to be this video canceled because of that. But I would love to know, how do you guys feel this is going to go? There are certain predictions that even Palki has shared, so I would be curious to see if you really think that this is definitely what is going to happen in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video with me. If you did enjoy, please give a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to this channel. And I will see you next one. Until then, please do take care. I'm sending much, much love. Bye-bye.